Hello, and welcome to Geeks Assembled. Today we are talking about a phenomenon, if that's the right word, of movie making from the 1970s. A bunch of guys from England who are known in the world of comedy. It's Monty Python team with their first, movie, The Holy Grail. So, without further ado, we're going to go for the opening thoughts on this epic movie. We'll go to Tim the Enchanter, otherwise known as Beef Dad.
Well, yes. So here we are. We're doing Dark Ages Knights, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Heaven help King Arthur. The funniest thing at the very beginning is Arthur is riding through England trying to find knights to join his round table, and he's not on a horse. He's got his squire Patsy with him, who has two half coconut shells and doing the clip-clop noises. I remember when I first saw that in the cinema, the whole place just erupted in laughter. It was so funny. Yeah, lots of typical magical Monty Python moments in it. It is so difficult to pick any moments out of this, because it is just constant. It is just absolutely constant. Of course, you had the rabbit that tears out knights' throats. I think it's amazing. Of all the things that they could have had in that cave, they picked a rabbit. And then finally, sort of a creature, but that was all done in cartoon. Great fun. Yeah, they all play a multiplicity of parts, as they always did in the television series, and they're just brilliant. They are just absolutely brilliant. They are probably the funniest bunch of people ever to have taken to the screen. And of course, the sad thing was that it was eventually turned into a musical called Spamalot, which has been a big hit in the West End and a big hit on Broadway. And I would imagine that at some point it'll probably be made into a film. Yeah, the sad thing is the guy who played Arthur. He died quite early on, when Monty Python and Monty Python's Flying Circus was still running. But he was one of the best writers on it, I always thought. Yeah. It's just brilliant, amazing, funny from start to finish, and you really cannot beat the Monty Python team.
Thank you for that, Beef Dad. And you went through that and you never said nee. So, oh, look at the face there. We'll move on to Stephen Price then, see what he thinks of the Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Over to you, Stephen.
Hello there. I remember watching this with a double bill with The Great Blazing Saddles. The first week that the Holy Grail was out, I remember, what the heck is this about, you know? And when I heard the horse, you couldn't see anything. You could hear just an horse coming in the distance, and I seen him that bloke banging the coconuts, well, I just could not stop laughing. And it went funnier and funnier in the movie. The one famous scene is where he chops his legs and arms off and all that. That had me in stitches. The one with the bunny rabbit. It's one of the best films.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with you there, Stephen. It's hard to pick the funny bits, but I'll leave that till it's my turn. We can move over to well, it says here Zoot, so I'm guessing Susie wants to be spanked. Over to Susie.
Wow. Neat. This is the finest example of British cinema that you will find anywhere. Okay, that's my opening thought. That's it.
Well, shoot.
Neat.
You should have been You should have put your name down as Zoom instead of Zoot.
Zoom.
We'll go to Brian. Yeah, we'll go to Brian. What's your opening thoughts of the Holy Grail movie?
Who, me?
Your name is Brian, and you're the one in this cast called Brian. So I'll just take that I mean you.
2 minutes, Brian.
All right. Well, when I thought of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, not a big fan. I didn't really like this film at all. I thought it was too weird, too crazy, and didn't really make any sense most of the time. I just didn't really enjoy it.
But Brian, that's Monty Python. Weird and crazy are Monty Python.
That's the point.
Well, I didn't like it or enjoy it. I thought it was just weird. I just didn't like it at all.
Okay, well, that means I won the bet.
You won the bet.
I won the bet.
What bet?
I betted that Brian wouldn't like it and wouldn't understand it.
Oh.
So money's coming my way. So for me, yeah, it is. It's surreal, weird, and funny, and that's what Monty Python do the best. Yeah, from beginning.
I didn't find it any funny at all.
Well, I knew you wouldn't, Brian. You've had your say. I'll say now. It's, as you say, the coconuts have been mentioned, and the Knights of the Round Table, the song, and it's just amazing. And when they dismount the horses, but you've got Tim the Enchanter, played by John Cleese, which was when he leads them to the quarry where the rabbit's there, and it's just pure silliness. She's a witch. She turned me into a newt. I got better. It's just little things like that. I mean, it is a shame, as Beef Dad said, that Graham Chapman died. I think it was in the 1980s from the dreaded cancer. I think it was. And it's a shame that we see now Terry Jones is suffering with dementia and stuff like that. But they've made years and years of people have made us laugh over the years, and this film is one of the best in my opinion. Which they followed on with The Life of Brian and Meaning of Life. This is where it all started. Okay, yeah, it was done. It was done on a shoestring. We can tell that. But Terry Gilliam's animation is just one. I love his animations. And for me, I don't know how these people watched this movie, but it always gets me at the beginning. It starts off as another film. I don't know. because on my version, it starts off as an old 1950s black and white comedy starring Bob Monkhouse. And then it stops, and then it goes into sorry, we've sacked this person, but and then they put the credits up, and all the credits keep changing. It's a wonderful film.
Yeah, I had Swedish credits at the beginning.
Yeah,
Like,
I think there's different.
That was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I think there's different versions, but man's black and white 1950s movie, then it changes, but then at the end, it just a blank screen. You just stops.
Just stops.
Just stops, and people are
like, woo.
But yeah, all in all, I enjoyed this. It made me giggle because I haven't seen this one for a while. So I will now go around and ask these learned people here what their favourite moments or dislikes about the movie is, and we'll go to Beef Dad.
You've already mentioned the witch scene. The witch scene is just incredible. It is just so funny. And basically, Connie Booth, who is playing the witch, eventually says, "Oh, well,
a fine cop."
That basically, yeah, she is a witch. It was a fair cop, yeah. And I loved Connie Booth. She was just so good in everything she did. And of course, she co-wrote 40 Towers with her husband, John Cleese, and also starred in it with him. The castle with the French knights, that always amuses me. And the French knights, I can't remember what it is they say about his mother, but they say his father smells of elderberries. And then they throw all the animals. It starts off with catapulting a cow out of the castle at them. But mind you, when you see it, you can see it's not a real cow.
Right.
But it's just so funny the way they start throwing all the animals out of the castle at them. It's just crazy stuff. And what's the other one? Oh yes, and of course you have the business about the coconuts. So where did he get where did he get a coconut? Coconuts are not grown in England. You need a tropical climate for it. Perhaps he was carried here by a bird. And so you go into the swallows. Possibly a migrating French swallow brought it. But no, it's just completely mad. And that, of course, is the whole thing about it. And a lot of people do not understand the Monty Python humour. I find that it's something that it's very particularly British. It's a very, very British sense of humour. They took over where the Goons left off, basically. And I'm sure, Brian, if you heard a Goon show, you wouldn't understand or enjoy that either.
Wait, what show?
The Goons.
Yeah, I've never heard of it, so probably not.
Yeah. But of course, you're extremely young. And
on a different planet.
Yes, and on a different planet. Yes, there is that. Good evening, Mr. Price.
Good evening.
I'm not on a different planet.
Oh my goodness. So Sir Robin was really funny.
I was just about to get to that. This was my final, making me really crease up. Wasn't so much Sir Robin as his minstrel, and that was just absolutely brilliant. This Neil Innes doing the singing minstrel is just hysterical. I obviously, with some of the language involved in what he was singing, you can't quote him here, but it is just so very, very funny, and basically talking about how brave Sir Robin runs away.
Robin runs away.
Yes, thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Yes. You're welcome. Okay, that's about it for me.
Okay, that is Sir Robin who likes to soil his armour. Let's go over to Susie and let's see what. Yes. Yes, I agree. I agree with that. Yes, yes.
I will say meat to you.
Why the woman a shrubbery?
There, give me a shrubbery. My hair looks like a shrubbery today, so there you go. Meat. Oh my God. I mean, all of the things you mentioned, everyone's mentioned, of course. In addition, then of course you have the prince who just wants to sing and sends out a message, and is it Lancelot? I think Lancelot comes in to rescue him and kills everybody at the wedding party. That is totally innocent, dancing around like a maypole or something with these flowers, and kills them all. So, I mean, it doesn't sound funny, but it is funny. It's very funny. And then he swings out afterwards. He's to leave. He swings. That's kind of funny. And just, I like how the African swallow comes back at the end when they ask the question. That's hysterical. And oh yes, and Galahad going to the castle where all the women have to be punished with spanking and that sort of thing. It was funny. It was funny. Well, it was one of the few real female parts in there. Okay. So funny story, sort of related. I used to do these Christmas concerts every year, and we would process, up the aisle, like as one does at a church at Christmas. So I dared people, if they would go, they use something requiem with their folder. And I did it. But I did it, and another one did it just a little bit. But it was just enough to make us all crack up, but nobody really knew. So it had to be done.
It's an amazing film. I mean, all these it's only little things like that can just make you giggle away to yourself.
It is.
I've just got this image of. But let's. If Susie, that's the one. If you finish there, Susie, shall we move on to Mr.
No,
Price?
I'm not done yet. Oh my God. Let's see. I'm trying now. I got off my train of thought, which is not hard to do. I need a little choo-choo to go through. Oh, it'll come back to me. Go to somebody else. I forgot.
All right then. Okay. We'll go to see Steve and see what
I'll
he's,
jump back in later.
All right then. Stephen, you got any moments or things you didn't like about the movie?
There's nothing I didn't. I liked everything about this movie. There's not one thing I didn't dislike. One I just remembered now is one day, lad, all this will be yours. What, the curtains? No, not the curtains, lad. That still makes me laugh. Just thinking of that one.
Oh dear.
When they get arrested by the police in the end, and one of them, the policeman says, that's an offensive weapon."
Oh dear. Yeah, they're amazing. Just little scenes.
And the other one is "Bring out your dead." They're not dead
Bring
yet.
out
You
dead.
will be.
Yeah, can you do me? Yeah, can you do me a favour? Oh, all right then. Oh, brilliant. Is it worth me asking you, Brian? Favourite moments, things you didn't like?
Did you like anything, Brian?
Is it worth me asking?
Oh, I hated it.
Right, okay. My
That
go
was
then.
it?
Right, that's my go then. You've got a lot
Brian,
to learn,
I'm so sorry.
Uh,
This movie, I will say this, though,
I'm
sorry, this movie is best, I think this movie is best seen with a group of people. If you are just sitting down and you're watching it by yourself, I can see where it could get a little slow for you and bogged down a little bit, but it really is a party movie. It's one of those movies, it's like Rocky Horror Picture Show, that I really think is best seen in a group and with alcohol. And there was this one point in there that somebody called somebody else Patsy. And I know this was pre Patsy and Adina, but I just laughed hysterically because it reminded me so much of AdFab. Somebody's name was Patsy. I don't remember where it was.
It was the King's Squire.
Yeah.
Right.
My trusty servant Patsy.
Yeah, that was played by Terry Gilliam.
I was expecting her to say, "Would you like a Bolly, darling?" She didn't. Anyway, that was funny.
I mean,
sorry.
I don't think anybody's mentioned the. They might have done. I can't remember now. The three-headed knight.
Three-headed knights.
The three-headed knight. Oh, you don't have to sleep next to him. He snores.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and they're arguing amongst themselves, and they're buggered off.
My God!
It's one of those films you do. It's give it a break and then watch it after a while. It all comes flooding back to you.
There's so much going on. It's one of those things you can't take it all in on one thing.
I've got the double, disc of the DVD where the Terry Jones is it and Michael Palin go back to the filming location. And the one that made me laugh is when they built a big rabbit or something.
The big rabbit. I forget to get it.
Was it Rabbit of Troy or something? And they were supposed to be in it, yeah.
And then there's one where it's
one of their favourites. Is it?
And they forgot to get in it.
Yeah, I forgot to get it. Then on the DVDs, you can pick a translation throughout the whole movie. I think I liked the Japanese one. It was very fun. I mean, in the one set that a friend of mine had. So we used to, depending upon our mood, there was one that was Shakespearean, one that was, I think, Japanese, and throughout the whole movie, there was this pseudo Shakespeare or Japanese translation. It's just all these little things all over. It was just, the whole thing is brilliant. It was just it's a masterpiece. It really is. It's a masterpiece of British comedy. And I don't think they surpassed it in any of their other movies. The other movies were good too, but I think this was their best.
Yeah, I mean, as it says on the DVD cover, makes Ben Hare look like an epic. Really. I've got a review here from our host. I don't know where he went, but I've got a review. He just sent to the phone. This is from Alid. Yes, I don't know why. Yeah, he's in the car, but here's my review I just put together. So here we go. This Monty Python film is one of the best comedy movies ever created. It's funny, laugh out loud throughout. The Python guys are geniuses. I've never seen this one before and didn't know how it would end up with them all being arrested. Usually comedy films are bad and their ending's even worse, but this was top class from start to end. There's too many great moments and gags to name them all. I loved the addition of their famous animation style. It was good to see Polly from Fawlty Towers and the rabbit. He likes the rabbit. So, and he's put his score at the end here. So, is there anybody more with anybody tidbits, or shall we go to final thought at score? Right. Okay, then we'll go to the scores then. Final say and score. Beef Dad, what say you?
Brilliant. A brilliantly funny movie, brilliantly executed by some of the funniest men ever to grace British television, and come to that. The Hollywood Bowl.
Got that DVD.
They are just absolutely brilliant, absolutely superb, hysterically funny, and it's a 10.
How did I know? How did I know it was going to be a 10?
I don't know.
Susie, I'm a bit schizo. Not schizo. What's the word? It's not schizo. What is it?
Psycho.
Psycho. I'm a bit psycho. That's it. That's the word. Over to Susie.
Oh, very funny. I just think that bit is so funny. So they go get the shrubbery, then they put the shrubbery up, and the guys want something else, and then they just say, oh, and then they leave. It's just like all of a sudden knee means nothing. It's very funny. It's just, I don't know. It's just such a good bit. Well, this has got to be one of the best all-time comedy movies, not just on British soil, but anywhere. I mean, it really is. If I had to pick a top 10 comedy flick, this would be close to, if not number one. It's truly just something that lasts forever, and you can go back to it and see things that you missed before, and the way they put it all together, it's so intricate. It looks like it's simple, but it's not. It's just everything's going on everywhere, and they're all, you know, so, which I can relate to, and they're all just manic. They're all manic. It's like you got 6 or 7 manic people in a room trying to put together. Oh, you should put those in here. Oh, but we forgot that one. Oh no, let's put the hand of God in there. Okay, good, and it all works. I mean, that's just it's brilliant, truly brilliant. 10 out of 10, no questions.
Okay, 10 out of 10 from Susie. Stephen, what's your score?
Right. I got all the Monty Python, seen all the Monty Python, got them all on DVD. And this movie is always I go back to, which is it's the funniest, and it's 10 out of 10. And every time I watch it, I can't stop laughing.
Well, that's what they're here for, to make people laugh. Thanks for that, Stephen. Brian, is it worth me asking? Is it worth me coming to you?
For what?
Exactly. That's what I thought.
We should all say "neat" to Brian. Neat.
Hello?
I think he's frozen. See, this is what happened when you diss Monty Python.
We'll move on from Brian then.
They freeze you.
Wait! I didn't hear what you said. Is it, like, are you asking for the rating?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I guess I would give this a 1.
Right.
Oh, Brian,
Yes.
you're such
Yes.
Brian.
And
Bless you, Brian.
I give you 0 out of 10, Brian.
You're such a comedian, Brian. Right, let's go to Alid's score, which he's put here. He scores it 100 nights out of 10.
I do think we should all say "knee" to Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with, well, not all, well, I don't agree with all, well, I don't agree with Brian.
You agree with me?
No.
I said I don't agree.
It's won awards. It's won awards, and it was nominated for the Hugo.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
think even Brian knows what the Hugo Awards are because they're American.
I'm not
No.
sure what they are, and I'm American.
It was so strange. I just didn't get it.
That's okay. You eventually, I hope you will. Maybe a little further along in your life, you'll go back and look at it again.
When you grow up to be a man, maybe so. But now it's
That was mean.
That's not right.
That was mean.
That's not right.
I've just remembered a animation scene in it where the cherubs or angels bend over backwards and shove the trumpets up their up the backsides. I just remember that.
Oh, and the guy in the peasant in the field that says this is, you aren't a king, we're a self-ruling oligarchy or something like that, and they goes into some sort of political, we're ruling ourselves, and how do you get a king? And brilliant.
I didn't vote for you.
No, we don't, you don't vote for kings.
You don't vote for kings.
But
I mean, I would rather watch a Mel Brooks film than this.
Well, some Mel Brooks. There are some Mel Brooks films I just don't like. I'm not a Blazing Saddles fan, except for Metal and Con. So it's all about, comedy is all about, who gets it, what is your sensibility, and that's okay. If you don't get it.
I always thought comedy. I always thought comedy was about timing.
Mm-hmm.
So my score is 10 out of 10. I love this film. It makes me laugh. It's surreal. It's weird. It's funny. Brian, get with it.
It's not. It's bizarre. That's what it is.
Yes, it is bizarre.
That's
the point.
comedy.
Yeah.
No, it's not. That's not good comedy.
Really? They're one of the most successful comedy groups of all time.
Well, I didn't get it.
You're telling me that Mel Brooks isn't bizarre?
Well, Mel Brooks comedy I got.
Well, see, this is what I mean. That's your personal sensibility.
Yeah, but
you seem to relate more to fart jokes.
But Mel Brooks' comedy is exactly the same as Monty Python.
It is, except it's got an American accent.
It is.
It's not.
It's exactly the same.
It's very similar.
It's exactly the same. I've seen Mel Brooks films like Spaceballs and Young Frankenstein and everything, and I did not see any relation to Monty Python.
Kids nowadays.
Brian, you don't even know who the Beatles are.
Exactly. So, and on that note, on that bombshell, shall we say?
He doesn't know who the Beatles are? Is that what he just said?
Yes. Yes.
Brian, you don't know who the Beatles are? Okay, we need to have a whole nother cast just on that question, because I didn't know that was possible.
There's a lot of things in the music world that Brian doesn't know.
Me.
Bruce Springsteen, Madonna, don't know him. Anyways.
Me.
Doris Day.
You don't know. Brian, do you live under a rock? You're in Long Island. You should know all of these things.
But anyways, as I said, I'd like to thank all you guys for turning up. Even the host, what disappeared before we started, don't know where he's gone, is in a car. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought of the Holy Grail on the Monty Python team. If you liked it, disliked it, your favourite bits. Give it a like, give us a dislike if you want. We're on Twitter at Geeks Assembled. We've got Tumblr. We're on Facebook. We've got a public Facebook group. Just type it in, we'll pop up. And if you want to be on these well-organised casts, what we do, this is a very good example, just get in touch, leave us a message, and we'll see what we can do. All we ask of you is to be over 18 to appear on the casts. everything. There's no age limit on anything else, just the casts, because it can get a bit heated in the casts and after the casts in a chat. There's usually no holes barred there. Everybody comes out fighting and scratching each other's eyes out. But especially we're gonna sort Brian out after we've come off air. So
no, you won't.
Oh yeah, we're going to show you what shrubbery is.
We're going to say meat to you.
Yes.
Please do not flash us, Brian. Don't do that.
So until next time, I'm losing it quickly. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.